first of all, it is a great joy to see many of the friends from 2 years ago. Yes. And my friends from Israel and my friends from the from Switzerland, Gumbala and Kunsala, and then Dawagesala from England, and anyone else from other countries. Otherwise, Belgium. Otherwise, Australia. Okay. Yeah. Huh? 200 kilometers. Okay. This is truly a great joy for me to be here, particularly to meet with very genuine the Dharma, the practitioners. I really appreciate it, and of course we should be extremely grateful for the Venerable Elizabeth for making this possible, and also that we are very fortunate to have Venerable Jimbala, who's extremely kind to yes, extremely kind to he was constantly telling me that I have to good. Okay, he's been constantly telling me that when I come, he'll be very happy to take charge of translation, and I could see that there's a tremendous warmth in him to see how to bring about the benefit for the people. And yes, I do see that the people, the interest is very genuine. I really appreciate it, and for me to be here also, I feel very happy. But not for any other reason, to see that there are people who are really interested, since I think like this is my third time coming to Kalachakra Center. Okay, so first we will do a quick, say, the prayers before we do the orientation. There's a Tibetan saying which goes that, Tibetan saying meaning it is from the Katamba masters, that two activities important, one at the beginning and one at the end. One in the beginning is setting a proper motivation, and one at the end is dedicating properly the virtues that you gathered. So with this, what we're doing here is setting proper motivation. For that matter, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us. And you have your own respective teachers. You can also visualize your teachers, which is so important. And this one part, and when we do this visualization, just the inclusion of how you visualize them, that they are so loving, caring, and embracing, no matter what you do. Just like the mother, in fact, just few minutes, about like 10 minutes ago, I got a message from a friend of mine, and he was really struggling with this child who is out of control, and the parents, how much they love their children, no matter what the child goes through. Likewise, we have to visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, And the manner in which the parents, particularly the mothers, they look at the children, and they would be always there to embrace you no matter what you go through. So this is how we should visualize all the bodhisattvas. If you do that, your, say, the refuge, the power of your refuge becomes very powerful, and the sense of refuge determines the the intensity of your Dharma practice. Okay, then the bodhicitta field, visualize your two kind parents on the two sides, and all your family members, including children, and all dear sentient beings with you. So with this in mind, and to hear how you visualize them, that you are so loving and caring and embracing towards each one of them. This is what we have to try to do that. If you do it, then the bodhicitta, when you actually practice them, there is this auspicious indication that you will grow. You will see the bodhicitta generating within you very quickly. Okay, so with this in mind, imagine that you are leading this recitation and all beings are joining you. At page 3 in English. Page 3 in English. And to spread great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I bear homage. And to spread great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I bear homage. And to spread great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I bear homage. Sanje joda zoge jonam la janju mado dane gyabsu che dage chinso kebe sonam kola benje sanje dubara sho sanje joda zoge jonam la janju mado dane gyabsu che dage chinso kebe sonam ge dola benje sanje dubara sho sanje joda zoge jonam chanjo bado dane yapso che dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjire sanje rubare sho. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is afraid of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths cause those helping migrators achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subdue as expound a variety of teachings, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and has endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaya Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha. Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha. Okay, now I'm quickly explain the meaning of this mantra. Almost all the participants reached.
We print everything for tomorrow. We will have all the prayers exactly as well.
No, what I'm saying is all the participants, they already came or we are still expecting?
Il y a des nouveaux qui vont venir demain. One person tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, then we will do the explanation later. Yeah. Then we continue. The meaning of the mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and non-composite. Such is the natural dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the woods. Pure utterance, thought and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unceased and has the nature of space. Is object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of 3 times are obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negative views of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the sustenance that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, so orientation meaning that the from tomorrow, what is expected to be done is that the say the first the morning we come like say 5 to 6 o'clock, if possible a little earlier, 5 to 6. 6 o'clock expected you to be here. And then we begin with the prostrations, making prostrations. When we make prostrations, let's say that the that making prostrations, offering the lights, well, and the water ball, who does it? Okay, not by turn.
C'est en retard ou est-ce que c'est toujours vous?
C'est toujours nous. Ouais, c'est notre karma yoga.
C'était un karma yoga.
Okay, so basically, if I would say the Patrick and Mary can take charge, whereby say the one of you will be always there, and then 2 others, if the 2 others will join you for the morning by rotation to make the water ball offerings, putting incense and so forth, so that way everybody will learn how to do this. Yeah, because that the whole purpose for our morning sessions is just for people to learn how to do your daily practice. So one of you can be always there, and then the another 2 by rotation will, they said, by who is if we give the responsibility, maybe Patrick and Mary, you can just see how to include two with you every day, and in a way they're learning from you how to do the water offering, incense, and so forth, and the lights we offer together. Okay, the idea is, and you may be wondering, that the water is offered but nobody's drinking it. Fruits are offered, nobody's eating it. We again bring it back and we distribute it. Okay, these concepts, the questions can be there. Don't suppress your questions. These questions are all very important. And in the course of our being together here for the next about 10 days, if you have any questions or such things, you may think that these are very small questions. Don't suppress these questions. Bring them up. And so while I'm here, I'll be very happy to help you with. And otherwise, we also have the Jimbala there, and Patrick, and the Mary, and many are here. So who I know since long time ago. But I see that most of you are already familiar with all these things. Should there be somebody who is totally new to this, then these things can be learned. The one to make a very quick answer to this is that it's not about, say, whether somebody eats it or whether somebody drinks it or somebody smells the incense. It's about, say, a small child. I remember one of my, a very senior, the teacher, and of course who passed away, who was not a monk, and he received the postcard from his very little daughter. Then for him, this card is so precious for this great scholar, because it's coming from his little daughter, who he loves so much. And then he cut it in pieces. He cut the envelope and read the postcard, kept the postcard, and even the envelope. He was asking his wife, "Where was the envelope?" And no envelope, even the small piece he cut, where was it? He was treasuring every piece, not because that these are diamonds. It's because it's all comes from the love from the small child. So likewise, we are all like small children. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they don't need anything from us. But when we offer something, it's so beautiful. You're offering your respect. You're offering your devotion. You're offering your, say, the receptivity to learn from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This is indication. So, as you make offerings, when you make offerings with so much of care, for example, like washing your hands before you bring down the offerings, washing your hands when you make the offerings. These cares are given. These determine, for example, let's say that some people, they work for like 8-10 hours a day. Men work. Some people, they just sit in the office and they just put the signatures. And those who work for hours and hours and hours, what they get is so little. But the person who sits in the office, the air conditioner, the food, just puts millions of dollars of turnover happens. So likewise, how much merit do you accumulate? It's not to matter how much you offer. It's about how pure your mind is. Your purity of your mind is seen from your gesture of respect given to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Say, I have no time, then I will bring down these offerings tomorrow. So which means that you don't have much respect. So for example, to give an example, it doesn't mean that I'm a great practitioner. In the mornings, I make sure that yes, I can measure emptiness, bodhicitta, and so forth. But so with respect to these things, make offerings, physical movement, these things are small. But just learn the humility that through this Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, if you have your guest coming, you will know that, okay, so now you do whatever you like. I may serve you food later on. I have bodhicitta meditation. You will not see this. So you will have tremendous respect for your guests. So Buddha said, there's no more important guest than Bodhisattvas. So with this in mind, say you do these things with respect and devotion. So there, the merit that you accumulate within a short span of time is enormous with respect to, in comparison with, say, somebody doing the same offerings and so forth every day for like 20-30 years, but without respect. So the time spent is less, but the merit accumulation is enormous. So that is all in your hands. So this is so important. It's not about, okay, look at this person, he's not doing like this, look at that person, he's not doing. It's not about that. It's you. And your Dharma practice to accumulate merit and eventually to free yourself from miseries and to experience infinite happiness for yourself and for other beings. So with this mind, this is so important. The offerings and so forth. And I expect the people who do not know how to make these offerings to learn from as we requested, Patrick and the Mary, to help through rotation by rotation, if you can take the opportunity to do this, to see how the offerings are made, they'll be greatly beneficial. One. And number two is that, for example, these prayer books, these are very precious. And of course, in the West, generally speaking, we don't really have the culture of respecting the books as such. Books is books. So on the floor or wherever. But in the Buddhist culture, in the Asian culture, particularly the Indian culture and the Buddhist culture, these books, they are given so much respect. For example, you don't put your edible foods and so forth on the books. So this is given so much respect, and where possible, not to put the books on the floor, tread on it. So these we don't do. So this is something that we are going to learn here. This is one thing. Then the next is when you come tomorrow, from tomorrow morning, we make the prostrations. Again, this is all for our practice, for us to practice. And making prostrations, we will do it for like 5 minutes. And meanwhile, maybe Anne Sophie will put on the Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. And that is I go for refuge to the Buddha, I go for refuge to the Dharma, I go for refuge to the Sangha. So that's going to be played, and the verbally we can recite along with the recording, and mentally we make the prostrations, and physically we make prostrations. Making prostrations, of course, there are many of you who already know what is prostration. Prostration is the entry gate. Prostration is some people they use the word surrender, and I don't really feel this word so comfortable. I would rather say it is the entrance to your journey of enlightenment. Prostration. How? Prostration is only when you say that when you become receptive. When you mentally become receptive, then you start to learn. If you're not receptive, you don't learn. So prostration is that I respect you. Respect the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. For what? For your qualities. You have these wonderful qualities which I don't have, and having these qualities help me to achieve my goals. What are your goals? Goal of freedom from all fears of life, from miseries, and to attain infinite happiness. This is a goal, and I want to attain that, and these goals are attained through the qualities that you have. I like to learn from you. So this is the receptivity. So prostration is a saying that I really admire you, and with respect to you, I'm just like the tiny, the very, very, very insignificant, tiny. I like to learn from you. So your body, with your body, your feet is the lowest part, and I touch your feet to see that everything within you, these are qualities I need to learn from you. I respect you from your feet. So this is a prostration. So when making prostrations, the two hands with the two thumbs inside folded, and this is there may not be too much difference, but the tradition has is that the two thumbs are inside folded, and this explanations. There are so many explanations, and sometimes the Tibetans are so good and elaborating so much, and I'm not too sure. But finally, the point is that your thinking, if you can be really elaborate in those thinking, to that extent is your proliferation of your qualities. That happens, no doubt. But sometimes they symbolize this, that I'm not too sure. Okay, so whatever is the case, two folds. So this forms the gem. Gem symbolizes compassion. Compassion, and inside is hollow. Hollow symbolizes the wisdom of emptiness. And then the more sophisticated form, or the outside with the physical form, that is the Sambhogakaya, or the Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya. In other words, the Rupakaya, physical form body of the Buddha. Inside hollow is the Dharmakaya. So with this, you touch your forehead, the 4 points, or 3 points. If 4 points, forehead, crown, forehead, throat, and heart. 4 points or 3 points, just the crown or the forehead, whichever of the one you like, and then throat and the heart. So why you touch these 4 points? One, the crown. Crown is considered very important. This is not just the Tibetan makeup. The crown, if you look at the very standard books, text by Maitreya, Ornament of Clear Realization. So there's mention of the Buddhas. They perform many of the activities through the crown. So the crown is considered very important. And the forehead is when the Buddhas, they empower the Bodhisattvas to become Buddhas from the forehead. So the crown, forehead, and throat because of all the teachings, of all the activities of the Buddhas, the activity of the speech, the teaching, that is considered the most important thing. So the throat and the heart. Heart is where your mind is the final residence of your mind. Your mind, particularly the clear light mind, subtlest mind. So at the moment we embody ourselves as men, women, French, Tibetan, and Israeli and so forth. But finally, this is just physical body, and physical body we leave. And this mind, which seems so gross, when the body dissolves, disconnects, then the mind becomes very subtle. It goes back to its true nature, very subtle state of mind. So in this very subtle state of mind, that finally goes meaning it is the main base, the main residence of this self's mind is your heart, not the biological heart, but the position close to this biological heart. This is it. So this subtle mind should become Buddha. So finally, when you say, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, this mind should become Buddha. So this is where your mind, which will eventually become Buddha, resides. So therefore, these 4 spots are extremely important spots. And when you touch, you just visualize that we are being blessed by all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. The crown, forehead, speech, and the heart. This is if you do the touching the 4 spots. Whereas if you do the touching the 3 spots, that is a body, speech, and mind. For the body, crown or the forehead, up to you. There's no fixed point. You can decide whichever of the 2. That is the body, to bless the body. Then this is speech and the mind. Body, speech, and mind. That's up to the individual. That's you decide. Okay. And then when making prostrations, particularly when you do regular prostrations, or you do say the 100,000 times, 300,000 times of prostration and so forth. So there, please make a point that you protect your knees. You protect your knees, and just once in a while is fine. But if you are doing this for regularly, or say you are accumulating the prostration, number of the prostrations, so there your knees must be protected, and if possible, say even from tomorrow when you do the prostrations, we make sure that there's something there, cushion underneath your knee to protect the knees. This is very important. Some people, they go to the extreme of saying no, when you make prostrations you have to have, however, more harsh it is to your body, more accumulation more purification happens. This is too much. We should be very realistic, because this body is very, very important for us to take the journey of enlightenment. So we should not destroy, damage the body. This is so important. That's one part. Then the making prostrations or offering the lights. Tomorrow we'll we'll offer the lights together. One of the way we did offering lights. First, the light is symbolic of the wisdom. The darkness is symbolic of ignorance, and ignorance is what creates all the problems. Even in a very mundane life, we see that with ignorance, you yourself put yourself in problem. You put others in problem, because ignorance, not knowing the reality. This is extremely the devious ignorance. So ignorance means darkness. You don't see the reality. So how to get rid of this ignorance? So look at how darkness is eradicated. Darkness is eliminated by the light. Likewise, to eradicate this ignorance, we offer the light of the wisdom. So this light is symbolic of the wisdom, despite the darkness of ignorance. So when you do that, don't just think that, okay, I'm lighting the lamp, I'm very fortunate. No, this is a very small way of thinking. Make a very broad way of thinking, where you do one work and the benefit is just innumerable. So how to do that is how your thinking makes a difference. So there you visualize all your the mother sentient beings with you, making the same offering with you, encouraging. Imagine that you are encouraging all the mother sentient beings to offer the lights, and light not just one or two, like billions of lights. Imagine that you are lighting up these lights to dispel the darkness of ignorance in the minds of sentient beings. Likewise, making prostration, imagine that you are not only the one, you are inspiring all your family members, including your parents, and of course each one of us will be very fortunate to be connected with the Dharma. But I'm sure many of you, your parents are not connected with Dharma, your siblings are not connected with Dharma, and your husband, your wife may not be connected with Dharma. So just imagine all of them, they join, not only them, all sentient beings, they join you in making prostrations, making offerings of lights and so forth. So this is what we are doing. Okay. Then the next point is that we'll go through this very quickly. What we're going to do from tomorrow morning, every morning from tomorrow. I say we are reading the let's say the Buddha Shakyamuni mantra, Buddha Shakyamuni praise, which is on page 14 in English. Page 14. In English. So as we recite, because that from tomorrow, unless until very, very necessary, I will not explain. So we'll just flow with the practice. And because of this, today, when necessary, I give a little bit of explanation here and there, and this is for that purpose. So when reciting the Shakyamuni Buddha Shakyamuni praise, we're not praising the Buddha so that Buddha will be very happy and then Buddha blesses you. No, this is not the idea. Whether you praise or not, Buddha is always loving, caring towards you. Then why do we praise the Buddha? This question is to identify the qualities the Buddha has. To identify the qualities. We praise the Buddha, saying that you have these quality, that quality, and so forth. Just as we recite these, the praise to the Buddha Shakyamuni, see if you have some of these qualities within you. If you do have, rejoice and see how to nurture them further. Whereas if you see that no, I don't have these qualities within me, they realize that you have the seeds of the Buddhahood. Everyone has the seed of the Buddhahood, seed of what we call as the Buddha nature, which means all these good qualities, they are in the seed in the form of seeds, even though they are not in a manifest form yet. So, okay, I do have the seeds. I need to emphasize on these qualities, and see how to cultivate them and how to develop them further. Okay, and so this is how we recite the Buddha Shakyamuni, the praise. Okay, the next we move to Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, say in between, I'll try to explain the meaning also. Heart Sutra, I'll try to look for opportunity within the span of the next 10 days. I'll see if I can explain Heart Sutra very quickly though. Okay, Heart Sutra is very important. This is for the wisdom of emptiness. And then the seven limb puja, page 37. Page 37, seven limb puja, seven practice. For us to undertake this journey, this is a very important journey, and it requires a lot of, let's say, the support. It requires, for example, if the when you are on a long journey, then you make sure that you prepare your food and whatever the requirement, you prepare all these things. So likewise, the journey of Buddhahood, this is a very long-term journey, and for this we need preparations to make sure that the journey is smooth. And what are the preparations required? So these are identified as the 7 points, 7 in puja. Okay, so as we read these verses from tomorrow morning, we make sure that we know the meanings, like prostrations. First, prostration is very important. Then the making offerings, then confessing the negativities, and rejoicing in the virtues of others, and then the making supplication to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to turn the wheel of Dharma, making request to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be with the sentient beings as long as the samsara exists, and finally to dedicate the merits properly. So these are the 7 limb. As we recite these verses, don't just let the mind flow in the verses without reflecting the meanings. Meaning must be reflected. These are the 7 limbs. The next is the short mandala offering, page 40. Mandala offering. Mandala offering, as I said earlier, is very similar to what we said earlier. Mandala offering, this is the offering, the whatever is good in the universe, and whatever is good that exists in the universe, you offer them. What you have, what you don't have, and what you can see, what you cannot see. You can see, you just have them in your mind, and which you don't see, you just visualize them and make the offering of these to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So that is preparing, connecting ourselves with the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, to connect ourselves, because the more we connect, the more recipient we become to receive the qualities, to learn from the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And this part, and after making the mandala offering, by the way, mandala has many connotations. Mandala in Tibetan, it is kilkor. It is a connotation of, say, in some cases, it's a connotation of the whole, the abode, the place, the residence. So therefore, when you say the mandala creation, sand mandala creation, it is creating the abode of the deities. Abode meaning the residence of the deities. This is one mandala. And the whole universe is seen as a mandala, and your body is the mandala. And then the offerings, like whatever you offer, that's as the mandala. So mandala has many connotations. So from this here, it is the offering of everything good that exists in this universe. This is what you're offering, and that too on a large scale. And when you make the offering, why we make the offering, as I said earlier, is to connect yourself with Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, to admire them. Admire them of what? Admire them of their qualities. So, that I like to learn from you. What kind of qualities you like to learn from you? So these are indicated in the next two, the two passages. The first part which reads, the four dharmas of Venerable Gamboba. Venerable Gamboba is such an enlightened master of the Kagyu tradition, and he indicated 4 points, and these are so important. Let us not forget this. I'm going to quickly explain this from tomorrow. We're not going to explain. The first, he says, may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma, which means that they say, oh, there's a teaching happening, there's some, some programs, some dharma-related programs happening, or there's a party there, okay, I'll go to the party, which means your mind is not directed towards the dharma. So it says, may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma. This is so precious. Okay, going to the party, it doesn't mean that going to the party is bad, but if there's a choice, always make the right choice, because finally, party, of course, this is good, but then this is just very temporary. And then in the end, there's nothing left in your hand. But it's this dharma. So it refines your mind and it takes you towards the fearlessness, towards the infinite happiness. This party is for temporary happiness, and this dharma is for infinite happiness. So wise people will go for the infinite happiness. This is number one. Number two, may I be blessed that my dharma practices on the proper path. So what happens is that when you follow the path, sometimes we tend to become sick. Sometimes so unnecessary conflicts happen, and sometimes the factors which actually help you to go smoothly into Dharma suddenly comes to an end, and so forth. So these obstacles to the Dharma, these obstacles, they should not happen, that my mind actually be able to successfully go through the Dharma. So without illness and so forth. This is number two. Number three, oftentimes it happens that somebody is into Dharma, somebody is into, without illness, everything is in favor of the person following Dharma, but then meet with the wrong teacher, meet with the wrong teachings. Very scary. Wrong teachings. And then the person is directed to the wrong direction. It says, may I be blessed that the path is free of flaws, that it is not in the wrong direction. Okay, some people, they talk about, the Buddhahood within a single lifetime. Buddhahood within a very, very short span of time, shortcuts, right? And what is this? Emptiness, with compassion, bodhicitta, all these things, many years of studies, what practice, right? Attain Buddhahood right instantly. Okay, so these are the deceptions. These are the flaws. Flaws? Yes. Say, okay. Some of you may be wondering, but look at just Milarepa. Look at Guru Padmasambhava, look at Lama Tsongkhapa, all the great teachers, they begin to with a single lifetime. So, is it not possible? He's talking as well like these are not possible. Just imagine that can you think of a university in France, in Paris? Huh?
Yes. Sorbonne, for instance.
Sorbonne's a university. Say that a PhD student comes from the Harvard University from America and joins the Sorbonne University directly, right? And then you've been going through the kindergarten school, high school, then the college, and then the Sorbonne University, Sorbonne, right? All these many years, and somebody joins Sorbonne directly, PhD. Oh, that's interesting. How come that you direct? Look at this person. He's very fortunate. She's very fortunate. We put all these many years. Now finally came to Sorbonne, right? No, this person has already put whatever you did, the person did in America, right? And you did not see that. Because you did not see that, you see this. So like within 3 years he complete Sorbonne. So likewise, Jesus Milarepa and these great teachers, they all need to put all these practices. What we're doing now, he already did it many lifetimes ago. And he is joining Sobon directly. And we see that it's all like, oh, he became enlightened within one lifetime. He actually did all what we are doing now from past life. If you want to become a Jesus Milarepa, do what you're doing now properly. Then next life you can become Jesus Milarepa. Right? Don't think that the Jesus Milarepa is successful and then we will okay, but we don't need bodhicitta, we don't do wisdom of emptiness. We can just go to the Himalaya and we can become Jesus Milarepa. Don't think that. Okay, so these there are many people who themselves go in the wrong direction and who discourage others to go through the proper path. They also make others to follow the wrong path. So it says, may I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. Very important. Then finally, may I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. So this is a very advanced practice. Very advanced practice. The last one is so precious. And at one point, you reach a point whereby you realize emptiness. You see everything, the play of your own mind. You realize emptiness. And at that point, say good, bad, everything. So in your eyes, you see that they are like the play of your own mind. They become the factor for you to invigorate your practice. So there's a very sophisticated practice, very high level practice, when your wisdom of emptiness becomes very refined. That is the fourth one. Then the next 4 points are from my teacher, Venerable Genlam Rinpoche, who spent whole his life in in solitary retreat, just personal meditation in the mountains. And I'm very fortunate to have met him, received teachings from him. And these are the 4 points in essence that he came up with. So the first one is renunciation. Number 2 is bodhicitta. Number 3 is wisdom of emptiness. Number 4 is the union of bliss and emptiness. 4 points. So the first one, what is renunciation? The meaning is very clearly elucidated here. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Number 1 is renunciation. Number 2, bodhicitta. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Number 2. Number 3, the wisdom emptiness. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness. And in fact, the meanings are elucidated so clearly there. Emptiness that doesn't see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Then finally, the union of bliss and emptiness. This will come at a very late stage. This is the tantric practice. So where your experience of emptiness is very refined and your psychology, study of the psychology, your experience with psychology is extremely nuanced. At that point you can practice it and reach to that level. Which says, please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Radnam Mendalakam Niratyami. Okay, the next, the foundation of all good qualities. The next page. Okay, Mary.
He comes to help you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. The next is foundation of all good qualities. This is extremely important. And this is like the roadmap where we are now till Buddhahood. How to go? This roadmap. And this is extremely important. And if possible, this evening, we'll try to go through these, the footnotes, or not the footnotes, endnotes, with the numbers where you may not know the meanings. They are all there in the end of the book. Learn this so that from tomorrow, when we recite this, the meanings are reflected and you will get the maximum benefit. This is extremely important. Then finally, page number 45, generating the mind of consummate yoga. In Tibetan, Tamje Nejo Semkepa. Okay. This is the actual meditation. Thus far, it is like preparation, creating all the conducive factors, and now from here we are actually doing the real working with the mind to bring about transformation. The first part is shamatha practice, single point of meditation. We need single point of meditation, and during the actual event of the class, we'll explain what is meditation, what kinds of meditation are there. All this will be explained later. So for now, just to say in our day-to-day life, and of course, finally, whether you want to practice Dharma, not practice Dharma, it is up to the individual. If you want to practice Dharma, then it is wiser to do it very effectively. One of my friends, he was a very pious, very devoted, greatly devoted to Dharma practice. And one day he came to me and said that, Geshe-la, the last 20 years, for the last 20 years, I've been saying these prayers, minimum 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, every day. And now from my personal experience, the last 20 years, I see that there's no transformation taking place in me. There's nothing. I'm just as ordinary as I was 20 years before. So there's no benefit at all from reciting these for like the 2 hours, 3 hours every day for 20 years. No benefit. So where am I going wrong? Then I told him, okay, get me the list of whatever you've been doing. And he gave me a huge list. Then I cut many of these things. Recitations are the recipes. You have the food recipes. You are reciting recipes all the time. Reciting the recipes will not give you food. If you want food, you have to cook the food. Use the recipes and cook the food. Only then your hunger will go away. Otherwise, reciting recipe all the time, you will never learn. Your hunger will never go away. So I cut many of the recipes and kept very small things. And I said, these are things that you do. And what you have, received empowerments, where you have received the empowerments, particularly the highest yoga empowerments. You have received empowerments, then you have the commitments. This I cannot cut. I cannot cut these recipes. This is what you have committed, you have to do that. Whereas the other things, make it short, and study more, spend more time on studies, reflection. And then on a daily basis, like foundation of all good qualities, roadmap, you already have the roadmap. And from here, what are you doing here from page 45 to actual meditation, shamatha meditation. Why shamatha meditation is required? This is so important. Okay, let's see that our mind has to go about a transformation. And this transformation happens through the change in your cognitive thought process, thinking, change in cognitive thought process. So that requires analytical meditation. And this analytical meditation will bring about transformation, will create a good car, but the car must be heavy. If it's too light, with the speed, it can move like this. So the car must have some weight there. So the single point of meditation, shamatha meditation, this helps you to stabilize your mind, make it very grounded, and then the analytical mind will make you to move where you intend to move. So these two are required, the complementing each other. So for that matter, the first one is shamatha, single point of meditation, which we're going to do from tomorrow. And the next one is renunciation. That is again another thing that we do it on the basis of the four seals meditation. Then after this, bodhicitta will do it on the basis of the four immeasurables. Then the wisdom of emptiness. So these are four things that we're going to do every day. And those of us who were the last two retreats, you know how things are being done. So this is exactly how we do this time as well. Okay, then we have some group discussions also. And group discussions, I would highly recommend that you attend the group discussions and how many groups? Like 2 or 3 groups?
The English group?
Yes, say the 2 or 3 groups, and where you have some very serious questions. It's not necessary that one point should be settled through this particular. So where you cannot settle it, there's some the difference in opinion coming about. Don't worry, just whoever leads the group that day, just put it down as a question or a note, and then you go to the next point. Don't just get stuck with one point the whole one session, because we don't have like 1 year. It's only about like 10 days. So, and the group leader, whoever is the group leader for that particular day, you put it as a point of, say, the question, and then bring it to me. I'll be happy to give the answers. Okay, and then the food, when we have the meals, including breakfast, dinner, lunch, and the dinner. For the meals, here in this book, there's offering. Food offering is there. We come together, and if possible, whatever text is available in French and in English, we'll read like 10 verses, not like 20, 30 verses, but just 10 verses, so that what we learn, we'll see them reflected in these verses from the standard books. So we'll read about like 10 verses during the breakfast, and the following 10 verses during the lunch, following for the dinner. So that way we'll see that what we are learning is actually reflected in these standard books. This will be very helpful. Okay, and okay. Then then the evening group discussion. That is, I would say, keep it optional, and if possible, yes, English group and the French group separate would be better to save time, and that can be only 2 groups. Whereas for in the daytime, the groups can be, when the group is too big, again, it's not too helpful. Then you may break it into like small groups, but in the evening, make it only 1 French group and 1 English group. Yeah. And this book for the meals, you have to bring this book, because the offering verses are there in this book. And don't be lazy, bring the book. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So we will then see you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, we'll do the end declaration prayer. Okay, ready? In the land encircled by snow mountains. Okay, it is on page 288 English. Page 288 English. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful generosity, Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as a brave Manchu is Shirin summoned by the true realized things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Chanju Samjo Rembo Je Moye Banam Ke Gyoro Je Ke Ba Nyamba Me Ba Ya Kone Kondo Pe Bara Sho. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I could attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into their enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. By the power of practicing and supplicating to you, may all be free from sickness, poverty, and conflict, and may Dharma and auspiciousness proliferate in all the places where we abide. The path of union and emptiness compassion is closely explained by the protector Buddha Dharma and the beings land of snows. You are the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that you wish to fulfill spontaneously. May the operations, evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who hereby menace through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be truly vanquished through the power of the truth of 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separate from perfect gurus, enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stages and the paths, may I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even in the cosmic life. Okay, since that we are gathering morning at the 6 o'clock. Therefore, there's some of you who might have health issues, who might require more sleep, and so forth. If this is who you are, then don't force yourself to come in the morning. But of course, those with health issues. Okay. And otherwise, it is good to come in the morning just to see that you have the potential to get up early and do the practices, and eventually your mind will get used to that. This is going to be very helpful for all of us. And whereas if you have health issues, then I would suggest that you inform to Venerable the Elizabeth, or you inform to the Venerable Jimbala. You inform them that this is what is happening, at least people come to know that you have the health issues. But we don't have to really explore what kind of health issues. That's your private matter. But if you have health issues and that you have to sleep longer, don't force yourself to come. Otherwise, the whole day is going to be wasted for you. Your mind will feel so foggy and tired the whole day, and whatever amount of sleep required, then take it. Otherwise, others, you have to sacrifice a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I'll share with you, and then also for the group discussions, those of us who really require, who feel that it's so tiring. Some of my friends say that they say when somebody who is older, shows interest to join my retreats, others will give the warning, are you serious? You are joining Geshe-la's retreat. It's very intense retreat. can you manage? This is what many people say. And don't be afraid. And it's fine. The only thing is that if you really require more rest and if you feel it's a little tiring, because it's not just physically getting up in the morning, getting early in the morning, so forth. It is your mind, because it's going to be quite intense teaching, and your mind may feel really tired. And if that's the case, and for the group discussions, if you feel like lying down, take more rest, feel free to do so. But that, okay, I have to do a little bit of exercise, then better give up your exercise and attend the group discussion. Sometimes you may feel the group discussion not so useful. No, this should not be attitude. Be there, and particularly I can see that there are many of you who are from the past early retreats. There are the senior ones there, and the senior ones, you must be more sympathetic and compassionate to the newcomers. Don't try to just bring in all your thoughts which you studied from the various classes. First, what you are to discuss from the topics which we discuss in the class, covered in the class. Just bring these. Once these are all discussed and you have more time, then you can bring a little more sophisticated thing. Or say the first 3 days, 4 days, let it flow according to the class. Then later on, when you get some confidence that even others may feel the benefit, if you bring in the more nuances, the nuance understanding, feel free to do so. So that I would request the seniors to be a little more discreet in your, the participation to the group discussions. So let, if possible, try to let everybody speak. That's very important. Give chance to everybody. Okay, yeah. Let's make 3 prostrations and stop here.